Not go to the Phillies game, huh? Still wait for that last bit.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Geek Spot News. I'm Jack. That's Frank over there. Oh, I got it right. Look at that.
Yeah, you're over there.
Here to bring you up to date on all the latest and all the news from last week, this week, whatever week we got and you need to, right?
The greatest television show in the history of television, apparently.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that when we get to lists, I think, huh? But before we get there, what's how you been, man? What have you been up to?
Well, it's been a week. Has it been a week? It has been a week. I did the wrestling podcast on Thursday. Had a hockey game Sunday morning that sucked the life out of me. Went to see a comedian last night at Helium, Brian Callen, from Goldberg's and the
Gym coach on Goldberg's.
Yeah, he I'll talk about him in a minute.
Oh.
I had a standing room only Phillies ticket for today and looked at the weather and was like, by the time the game's over, the weather's going to be so bad. I'm just going to stay home. And
it's pretty nice out.
It's really nice out. Phillies won. I'm okay with not having gone to the game though. I'm just exhausted today. I needed just a day away from work. My boss is in from Texas. It's, Phillies not using cheap remade bats with the wood replaced into another part of the bat won the game today.
Torpedo.
Yeah, the torpedo bats. Although some of the Phillies players have ordered them, but right now Alec Bohm was the only one that used one today, and he did nothing of importance.
It's fair.
Other than that, nothing. How about you? I watch TV.
Well, look at you watching stuff. I got obsessed with foods that make America and food tech and things like that for a little bit. Some other people that we both are fans of has mentioned those a few times, so I went and deep dived a little bit, and it's a little wild seeing all the food tech that goes into like a fast food meal of burger and fries. But that was fun.
I don't think I ever want to know that.
Yeah, some of it's cool. Some of it's like, oh God, don't show me the burger part first. Why would you start with the burger part? And I had time to watch all that. My one kid was getting knee surgery last Thursday, so he did that, and had about half his patella was broken off that they had to reattach.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. So that was his week.
So how's he doing?
Follow up was today. He's doing well.
Awesome.
Things are good for him. So now we get to try and bend his knee and stretch and do all those things. And the other one was out of town on a trip to down south in Nashville.
Nice.
So he just got back today. So busy week, driving all over the places to all the things and all of that fun stuff. So that was most of my week. I managed to watch a couple things. I don't think anything that different than you watched. I was a week behind on Suits LA. I'm still a week behind now. That one dropped today.
I'm a couple seasons behind.
Yeah, it's not good.
You've said that.
But it may eventually figure it out. It's like 5 episodes in and it's still not really. I don't know that it knows what show it wants to be, and I also haven't watched a regular like network drama in so long.
Yeah.
That I kind of forget how to watch a network drama. So we'll talk about that a little bit more later on about that serialized shows versus the current cinematic scope that a lot of these networks are going for. But yeah, I know that's where I'm at, and I'm sure I watched the other stuff that we will get to shortly. I did watch Cobra Kai again this last week because the kid with the knee decided he was going to finish Cobra Kai. So thank God he finished Cobra Kai yesterday, and I said, well, now you're going to watch Ted Lasso. So now he's actually watching a good television show.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, I went to see Comedian last night, and let me break it down. The host was awful. Like the guy that like kind of introduced the different comics that were coming up.
Yeah.
He didn't hit. I think the 4 minutes he spent talking about cat people and dog people kind of turned me off to him. And it wasn't really funny. It's fine, you know. Then the first guest comedian that came out was actually a Philly bus driver who was spot on hilarious.
Nice.
This guy was I don't remember any of the guys' names, so I apologize, but this guy was great. And then another guy came out, and it was like this 6'4" looking dude, also from Philly, pretty funny. And then a little guy from like Queens came out, and and he was really funny. And then the main guy came out, and like he had moments where he really was funny, but towards the end of his show, he kind of got a little bit more pontificating and a little more
preachy.
I almost want to say Joe Roganish.
Oh,
like he was talking about like the dopamine that you get from scrolling on your phone, and like he tied his story all together. And I'm not even going to like paraphrase it because I'm not going to do it justice. But he wasn't. It was exhausting by the time
he's from the same era as Rogan, and like the same like
Yeah.
I remember them doing comedy stuff coming up together.
Yeah, and
So tracks.
he wasn't awful, but he just by the end of the show, I was like looking at my watch and I was trying to find. I know in Helium there's a clock somewhere above the comedians, and we were kind of off to the side a little bit that tells them how much time they have, and I was like, for his last at least 35 minutes, I was like looking at the clock, looking for the clock, but looking at my watch, going, "Oh my God, when is this guy going to be done?
Oh wow,
I just want to go home." Yeah, it was. You know, whatever. It was. Ange got the tickets discounted, so it was. You know, it was nice. Matt was there, and Ange and Ray and Richie and Jenny, the Yuskos.
Yeah.
And Jay. You know, and again, yeah.
And it was
It's a
nice
night
that
out.
they all managed to get to the Phillies game today.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like going. I really didn't. I told them last night it wasn't just the weather. It was just I'm physically exhausted. I got a game tomorrow night. I got a game Thursday night. I got a game Sunday. I'm just exhausted right now. I think I have to change my diet.
Probably.
Yeah, well, maybe the start to changing my diet is watching how hamburgers and cheeseburgers are made.
That'll help. Get some Pliables. Pliables are good for you.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
That was my week. And then I've managed to fit in some, I'm old, I know. I managed to fit in some television shows, some wrestling content today. You know what, T? That's not
I will say the Cobra Kai rewatch reminded me how good it was before it got to Netflix.
It was great the first two, was it 2 seasons?
Like the third wasn't awful yet, but you know.
When did they become felons?
That's
season?
like 4.
Four?
I think the furniture's going into season 4.
When's the throwing the kid off the balcony at school?
That was 2.
Oh, okay.
That was the end.
Yeah.
That was the where we thought it was going to be over.
Right. Where Miguel's life should have been over.
Correct. But
I forget where we go next. I won't say anything about Raw, T. I'm saving that for us, and I even didn't put any spoilers in the chat we are in. I will just say the first segment is absolute scorching hot fire. That's it.
Well, so we got our lists, man.
Yes.
You sent me a list today, but we got our list from last week.
Well, that list wasn't really a list. That was more just kind of poking fun at you and your love of The Office.
I know what you're talking about.
Right. I have a couple other lists set for down the line, but where did we leave off? We were doing we
made it to 100 to 76.
Okay.
The best television characters of all time is where
the greatest television performances of the 20th century, I believe it was.
That's what it was. There you go. I was close.
Yeah. So we'll just jump right in at 75 with Nicole Kidman as Celeste Wright in Big Little Lies. It's on HBO from 2017 to 2019.
Yeah, all right. That should be on there. She was good.
I'm going down to what number now? 51?
51.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Number 74, Caitlin Dever, who we're going to see soon in The Last of Us season 2.
Oh, from Dope Sick?
No, is Marie Adler from Unbelievable.
Oh, didn't see that one. And
Yeah,
she was phenomenal in Dope Sick, but I don't know if that counts or doesn't count.
it's in the description, but this is Netflix 2019.
Got it.
Then we have 73, Rami Malek.
Rami
Rami
Malek.
Malek as Elliot Anderson in Mr. Robot is a show that I have not seen, but I heard it was really good.
The first 2 seasons were really good, and then it went completely off the rails.
Of course. As
It's low.
okay.
I mean, the weird part is though, as I've seen him in more roles since then, he was just playing himself. He's just a really weird dude.
Yeah. Number 72, Patricia Clarkson as Adora Krellin in Sharp Objects on HBO in 2018.
Oh, it did not get through Sharp Objects.
No,
Or
neither
to
did
Sharp
I.
Objects.
Number 71, this one's a little low too, I think. Anthony Starr as Homelander in The Boys. 71?
Yeah, that the last 25 years, that would be top 25, top 30, I would say.
I would say easily. Easily. And we have Gen V. We're going to get a trailer and a release date soon for Gen V season 2.
Can't wait.
No. I mean, yes, I can't wait either. Number 70, Ty Burrell as Phil Dunphy in Modern Family. I never watched Modern Family.
It's a good dude, Modern Family's much better than The Office. I mean, it's good. I enjoy Modern Family quite a bit.
I enjoy
and he's great on it.
Yeah. You can read Matt.
Yeah.
He's been saving that. I can't tell you. Matt's been saving that for a week.
Has he?
Keeps telling me that he had something for number 69. We're at number 69. And Matt put Lisa Ann Nailin Palin.
It's good. Luckily, my mom is not joined yet. I hope. So, it's all good.
Number 69 on our list is Issa Rae as Issa D from Insecure. It was on HBO from 2016 to 2021.
Sounds low. She was also the voice of my Google Home for a solid year and a half.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Look, gotta get that check.
Here's one that I wonder how you're going to rate this one. The disrespect of Anthony Starr is probably as much as the disrespect of number 68, David Harbour as Jim Hopper in Stranger Things.
No, that's a good spot for Jim
Is it? Okay. I didn't see Stranger Things. Shocking.
I know.
Even though it's literally my childhood.
So, to be fair, on the Anthony Starr one, because T's saying the disrespect of Anthony Starr is ridiculous. I don't disagree, but honestly, he's better in Banshee than he is in The Boys.
Okay.
And if he's not on this list for Banshee, that's a crime as well. Banshee's ridiculously good.
Yeah. Lisa Ann T is an adult film in the adult film industry.
But she is an actress.
She is an actress. She did not make the actual list. Number 67, Caitlin Olsen as Deandra Reynolds in It's Always Sunny.
Sweet D's on this list? All right.
Sweet D's on this. An actress.
I would assume the other 4 are above her then, so that's interesting.
Maybe. I like to not
look. She's great in the role because that's not her personality at all. So actually acting, which is nice to see.
Number 66 is Angela Bassett as Marie Laveau in American Horror Story Coven. Yep.
I did not watch Coven's season, but she's always fantastic on every season of that she's been on.
I forgot that this show even makes the list. Number 65, Marsha Cross as Bree Van de Kamp in Desperate Housewives.
Wow. Desperate Housewives.
Yeah. But she's the first.
Marsha Cross from Desperate Housewives?
Marsha Cross, yeah, the redhead. She's the first of the Desperate Housewives ones at 65.
Yeah, I would think there's at least three ahead of her.
This is an interesting one too. At 64, Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff / Scarlet Witch in WandaVision.
No,
low, too high.
Should be on this list.
Oh, I loved WandaVision.
None of the acting was in my top 100.
I liked WandaVision, but we definitely.
Yeah, but would you say she was better than Homelander?
No, right. Absolutely not. No. Homelander not being above any of these people so far, or Homelander being below, is Crazy to me.
Yeah.
Number 63, Janelle James as Ava Coleman in Abbott Elementary.
Okay.
I haven't watched it. I heard it's hilarious and it's
I
great.
watched the crossover with Always Sunny,
Was it
but
good?
I feel like I need to start at the beginning
Was it
to
good?
get it. It was all right. It's a typical episode of Always Sunny. I think this season of Always Sunny they explain how the gang ended up there
Okay.
because the gang is there doing like community service at the school, and they just want their paper signed so they can leave, and they just
Gotcha.
cause the havoc that the gang causes the whole time.
Uh-huh. Number 62, Frances Conroy as Ruth Fisher in Six Under.
Oh yeah. Oh, 6 Feet Under should have a lot of people on this list actually.
Yeah, that's a show that I haven't watched, but everything that I've read about it said it was like one of the best top to bottom shows.
100%.
Yeah.
One of my favorite episodes of television of all time is an episode of 6 Feet Under.
I think you're the one you talk that show up a lot too.
Yeah, it's
Number
great.
61. I feel this should be higher. I believe this one should be higher than Anthony Starr as it is, but it should definitely be higher. Michael Emerson as Ben Linus in Lost. He was absolutely great in that show. He may have been the best actor of that entire show.
Agreed. I know John Locke is pretty good.
Well, I
yeah.
assume that Terry O'Quinn's going to be higher up, if not for this, for something else at least, maybe.
I don't know. He only did like one other show.
Done a lot of shit.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I'm intrigued to see how this list does once we get to the top 50 because they're burning through
Yeah, they are.
some pretty good actors down low here.
Number 60, we have Chloe Svengi as Nicolette Grant in Big Love.
Yeah.
From 2006.
Yeah, it was with Bill Paxton. It was a Mormon thing.
Number 59 is Rachel Bloom as Rebecca Bunch for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, she's great. She also wrote it all. She did all the music. She wrote the show.
Okay.
She was brilliant on that show.
Okay. Closing in on the end of today's portion of the list. Number 58, Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal Lecter for Hannibal.
Never watched it. Heard it was great.
Yeah. 58.
But I mean, it's very typecasting for him because he plays the same character in like 4 other shows around the same time. There was another show where he played like a profiler.
Okay.
That was also super wacky.
I totally agree with T that Ben Linus is one of the greatest TV characters ever to him. Chloe's not Duck from Chris, and he also said, "What a time to be alive when Desperate Housewives was a thing." Yes, that was an old man. Number 57, Danny Pudi as Abed Nadir for Community. He also stars in Mythic Quest.
He does. He does. I started Community a couple years ago, and I made it through like the first like handful of episodes, and I just dropped off.
Wow.
So I might go back and revisit that because that's another one that supposedly after a season or 2 gets better.
Okay.
Unlike The Office after 6, where it's still trash. So
obvious. No people from The Office on here yet.
Yeah.
Number
I
56.
Can't wait to see how high they are on this godforsaken list.
Number 56, Pamela Adlon as Sam Fox, Better Things.
Never saw. I don't even know what Better Things is.
It was on FX from 2016 to 2022.
Oof.
I saw her on a Louis C.K. show from HBO that I can't remember the name of. Oh my God, it was such a long time ago.
I would assume it was called Louis C.K. because he liked to name all of his things after himself.
No, I think it was, I'm going to find it now. I think it was Lou. No, maybe it was Louis.
Yeah.
See, it's not exactly Louis C.K. I think it was Louis, but I only watched it because Jim Norton was on it, and I was a big Jim Norton fan back then.
It's around the right time.
So yeah. Where am I? I am screen. Here we go. Number 55. Ooh, this is a great one for me. Mary McDonald as Laura Roslin in Battlestar Galactica. I'm on the last like 4 episodes of my rewatch with that. She was great in the show.
She was one of the best actresses on that show for sure.
Yeah, she had probably one of the best arcs, and at least the arc you could actually understand, unlike Katie Sackhoff's arc.
Yeah, which was just like, we don't know what to do with her this last season. We're good.
Well, she had Ron Moore on her podcast, and she asked him, and he said, "Yeah, I don't really have an answer for that, and I'm not going to define it. It's just going to be what it is." And I actually like that. Don't try to define it. Let people have their own, kind of like the ending of The Sopranos. Number 54, Jennifer Garner as Sydney Bristow in Alias.
Yeah. This is
Okay.
where that's about the right spot for her. Lucky Louie. Was that the show you were thinking
That's
of?
the one, Lucky Louie.
Yeah.
Louie in the name, though.
Of course.
Number 53, Titus Burgess as Titus Andromedon in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Have not watched that one yet. I love Titus. He's great at everything he does.
Titus is the guy that was the shocker guy in Spider-Man, right? Or no? Am I
No,
confusing him with someone else?
you're 100%
His
confusing
face
with somebody
looks
else.
the same from this picture. That's why.
Yeah, no.
You know who I'm talking about, though?
Titus is a wildly flamboyant host of multiple things.
Yes. Yeah, seeing a better picture of him, I know.
Like Last Bite Hotel, which I watched. I binged
Okay.
a few weeks ago, which was a blast.
Okay.
But he's great. And there's a couple snips I've seen of him in that role. He was very good in that role too. But again, kind of playing. I don't know if that was his character before the show, but that's been his character ever since the show.
I confused him with that picture that they showed of him with Bokeem Woodbine is the guy that I'm thinking of. Anyway, number 52, Maggie Smith as Violet Crawley, Dowager Countess of Grantham. Wow, that was a mouthful. In Downton Abbey. I even said that right.
Yeah. Never watched it.
No, neither did I, but Maggie Smith is great in everything.
I heard it was great.
Yeah. And the last one for today, number 51, Ken Leung as Eric Tao for Industry, which is on HBO from 2020 to now.
Look, love him. Didn't realize he was in that show. But he's always been great in everything. He was great on Lost.
It's not Downtown Abbey. Yeah, he was Miles in Lost.
Yes.
Yes, it's
He's
not
been
Downtown.
in all sorts. He's been in all sorts of things, and he's great in all of them.
I learned to say Downton Abbey from watching many other people mispronounce it as Downtown Abbey. So that's it. We're down to 51. Next week we'll go.
I feel like there's going to be like 6 shows that dominate the entire top 50 based on where we're at right now.
I could tell you again. I'm not scrolling any further, but I would say The Shield, The Sopranos, The Office.
Does The Sopranos count as 2000s?
Yeah,
it started in 99, didn't it?
Technically, yeah. I mean, we'll see. But James Gandolfini always rises to the top of those best actor lists for that role.
I don't think he's gonna have that problem with his legacy.
No. And before you get into your Office stuff and other stuff, I will let you know. My sister, who's a big fan of The Office, said to me, I was talking about how Jenna Fisher and what's her name? The Angela do the podcast, the Office Ladies podcast, where they rewatched the whole show. They got to the end of that. Now they're looking for content, and they're kind of like rehashing certain episodes and stuff. And I said something to my sister, and she goes, "I tried listening to her podcast. Jenna Fisher's just effing insufferable."
That sounds right. That doesn't surprise me at all. It's just so Pam was based on her, is what you're telling me.
I never listened. I never watched. I tried the podcast, and I got through like 2 episodes, and I just
they must have done that podcast for a long time.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, there's a couple episodes.
Yeah.
But go ahead now.
No, I had a busy week, man, and I was so burned from binging all those episodes last week that I was like, I have to take a break from this. There's such other big news to hit anyway.
There was, and that's fine. I can pull down my.
So sorry to everybody. Between not having control of the TV for multiple days on end while I had to rewatch Cobra Kai, because I think last Thursday he was only on he's only on season 3. So it's been a lot of Cobra Kai on the TV at my house for the last 5 days.
But did you get to watch anything else, or do we have to totally skip what?
Oh no, I snuck in. I got Reacher, Wheel of Time, Mythic Quest, Daredevil. I watched all those things.
Okay. We could push those down.
I watched them on my laptop. even though I have this nice big 77-inch TV. I said, "No, I'm gonna watch this on my laptop instead."
I I do that with some things. My
Not I
laptop
didn't want
next to
to.
me. Yeah. All right, a couple of quick things before we get to the big thing. Um, Paradise, TV show that you got me hooked on, that I've gotten a
Okay.
couple other people hooked on. Number one, it's going to actually start airing on ABC April 7th at 10 p.m.
That's smart. Are the episodes 44-minute-ish, though? They're gonna have to cut
Uh,
some stuff.
Maybe
I feel like they were anywhere between 45 minutes and 55, so they're gonna have to
extend it a little bit. Maybe.
or but ABC's not that's not ABC's jam, though.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they'll cut some stuff.
Um, but we have a casting for season 2.
Oh.
Shailene Woodley has
Mhm.
joined the cast in a recurring guest role that's being kept under wraps.
Is it how Aaron Rodgers was the cause of all of the issues?
That would be awesome.
I really would. Speaking of that, with Hulu and Disney Plus, so something I just discovered this last week when I was talking about that. Let me go look at these foods that made America or built America, right?
Yeah.
So there's one season on Disney Plus. There's 7 seasons on Hulu
Of what?
of that show.
Oh.
So
Oh.
so even though they're joined, right? They picked and chose what they moved from Hulu to Disney Plus. So there's still a
Interesting.
bunch of content on Hulu that's not available on the joint Disney Plus ESPN Hulu,
Gotcha.
which surprised me quite a bit. I didn't realize it was because when you go to Hulu, there's totally different shows that they're like, hey, these are our top shows. And I'm like, oh, that's not what's on Disney Plus at all.
That's weird. You know, it's funny. I when I watch stuff on Amazon Prime, I now watch it through Apple TV.
Oh,
I feel the pictures better, even though my TV is amazing.
yeah.
Rather than just go to the Amazon Apple My TV. I'm already in Apple TV watching stuff, so I go to Amazon there.
Oh, using the Apple TV box.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I have one of those. I don't know that I've used it in forever. Now, once I got a TV with every app on it, I was
Yeah, it's weird because I was looking for something specific on that, and I was using the box. I just hooked it up when I hooked the TV up.
yeah.
Legend of Zelda, which is a really fun game, and
They are.
thanks to Matt, I've been playing them on my Steam Deck through emulators. I started doing A Link to the Past.
Okay.
Um, there's a live action movie
Oh, god damn it.
with a date. March 26, 2027, Sony Pictures and Nintendo have announced a date
Okay.
for a live. That I feel like that is a really hard live action show to make.
I don't know that it'll be that tough.
I hope not. This is one of those
Depends on
things
which one they're doing. Are they going to do Breath of the Wild and just
they haven't said. The people that are producing it going to be produced by series creator. I'm not going to attempt to say his first name. Miyamoto is his last name, and Avi Arad. I'm just not.
Yeah, I almost went. Speaking of video game movies, I almost went to a Minecraft sneak peek yesterday, but couldn't bring myself to do it.
I
Avi
mean,
has been involved in dozens of Marvel movies: the original X-Men trilogy, Daredevil, Hulk, Elektra, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, Blade Trinity.
Look, the Super Mario Brothers animated movie made over $1.3 billion.
Yeah, look, I've watched the Super Mario Brothers movie like a dozen times. It's
I have not.
super enjoyable.
Yeah, I have not. I've actually been seeing stuff about Minecraft, not from actual critics because I hate critics in general, but from like people reviewing the movies and saying that it's actually really a lot of fun.
The second trailer had
Yeah.
me way more intrigued than the first one, where I was like, "This looks god awful," and the second one was like, "Oh, they're doing a story. Got it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's though I really wish Jack Black would stop being Jack Black and everything and being
He's
cast
about to
in
host. He's about to host Saturday Night Live. So.
everything. It's fine. Maybe
Um,
maybe he'll walk off.
do you remember the Coyote vs. Acme movie that was shelved?
I do.
Well, it's not shelved any longer as Ketchup Entertainment, an independent distributor, has struck a deal to release it.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Look,
I
the
think
the
it's
Looney
great.
Tunes movie in theaters right now is doing fine,
Yeah.
but this one deserves it. It got great. Everybody that saw it said it was fantastic. So
Yeah.
good for them.
I
Hopefully,
wish they would
a
do this
U.S.
with
release.
Batgirl because I heard Batgirl, like the stuff that keeps coming out about Batgirl seems like it's really not a bad movie either.
No, it sounds like it's still awful.
Yeah.
There was like a fight scene that got leaked that still had like wires and everything in it. And people were like, "Oh my god, it's so good."
Well, it's better. I don't know.
It's probably better
Um,
than the Flash
so
season 8. So it's fine.
well,
And
this movie was shot in the spring of 2022. Warner Brothers shelved the film in 2023 to get a tax write-off to aid in some post-pandemic budget cuts. They're gonna pay about 50 million for the movie, and it's gonna release next year some point.
cool.
Yeah, it's good. Good.
It'll make people are going to go see it just to spite Zaslav. So it's fine.
Sure. Sure. Um,
I'll go see it just to spite Zaslav.
you're putting money in his pocket by doing that.
No, I'm not, because they've
No?
already bought it from him.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So this is them making profit. They need to make a profit now to prove that he's an
Right.
idiot.
Right. I see what you're saying. Um, okay, this will lead into that. Viola Davis has revealed that she would love to join the MCU since her daughter is such a Marvel fanatic. You think James Gunn would let her go?
She wasn't Viola Davis in the MCU?
I don't think she was. I don't think so.
No,
Maybe they could reshoot Ironheart and stick her in there.
that'd be something.
But yeah, so we had we had a big Marvel reveal last week, and you and I sit on very different sides of the fence about the whole reveal in general. I jumped on Ace's show with him and with T to talk about the castings. We don't have to go through all of them because there's 26 of them, right?
Yeah, look, we can, but they're in clumps.
They are. We look they Marvel. So if for those that don't know or who live under a rock, Marvel revealed a chunk of the cast of Avengers Doomsday by setting a chair in a big studio, and then every 10 or so minutes, music would play, the camera would pull back, and they would reveal another chair. And they did this for 5 hours.
God, it was painful.
I had it on in the car. I had it on at work. I had it on at home. I watched pretty much the whole thing. It was definitely an interesting way to reveal the characters. I feel like every 5 minutes it might have been a little bit better, but they had over 7 million people watch this. So it worked.
Yeah,
Right.
look, every time I looked, I'm like, why are there so many people watching this? But I was one of them, so I get it.
So was I. And they revealed a lot, but they didn't reveal a lot. There's a lot of big names missing from this. So we got the Fantastic Four staff or characters, right?
Yeah, I feel like there was probably a reason for the order that they did names into.
I feel that by the end the order made sense because of definitely the last two.
Look, I don't know that Pedro Pascal is a huge movie star.
Not that he's a huge movie star, and not that they were doing them in order of how big the stars are, but more or less how they relate to the character coming after it. Maybe at least the last two definitely are tied together.
Yeah, here's my
But
concern, and I hadn't thought about this till now.
okay,
I don't know that I really give a shit about watching Pedro Pascal and Robert Downey Jr. share scenes together as Reed Richards and Doctor Doom. Like, the more I think about it, like I don't know if I can buy Pedro as the smartest man on the planet going off against Robert Downey Jr., who I can definitely buy as one of the smartest men on the planet. But I don't know if I can buy Pedro and that quippy back and forth. Like I don't I'm nervous now
I
about
think
seeing that. Now that I think about it, with finally seeing those two names next to each other.
I think maybe you're looking at it more from everything that you've base everything you've seen Pedro Pascal in. The only thing where he I don't know. It
I think you're basing on everything he's ever done. What are you doing?
yeah, I guess. I don't eh, you know
No,
what?
go ahead. Sorry.
I know I had a thought and it just kind of unraveled as I was talking and it didn't make sense. There were
I've never seen him play like a full-on intellectual. So like maybe it'll be great, but like Robert Downey Jr. is Robert Downey Jr. and I he's on a very different tier than
he
Pedro Pascal
absolutely
for
is.
me.
And
Even though I wouldn't put Chris Evans in real life on like the same tier as Robert Downey Jr., but he held his own against him.
right. So they did the reveal and we can touch base on a couple of the characters. And then at the very end, the music built up, the music built up, the music built up. The door opened at the far end, the very far end of
Which was where it started. It started at the very far end when somebody opened it and walked in with the chair and set the chair down.
right. And then a figure walked all the way down and sat in the last chair. And it was Pedro Pascal was the next to the last one, and then Robert Downey Jr. and he sat in it and he turned around and it was kind of like he did the Agatha, where he turned around and did the thing. Um, and then there was a tweet, that he said, "What a great bench of characters. This is it, right? There couldn't possibly be any more." And then Marvel Studios replied to the tweet and said that there's always room for more characters. We know that 26 characters isn't enough, isn't as many characters as there are. The Paul Rudd chair, real small, was a nice touch.
Yeah, there was some clever stuff in it.
But
it was weird to see who they did and didn't announce.
well, I saw some stuff for some of that, and one of the characters that one of the things that I had the feeling of was as they were announcing the Thunderbolts characters, and I think we texted about it, and I was talking about it in a chat with T and a couple other guys, was more or less like, why are you revealing these characters now? Does that lower the stakes for some of these characters in Thunderbolts? Like Thunderbolts seemed to be set up kind of like a Suicide Squad-ish movie.
Yeah.
And now we know that basically all of them survive. However, in new trailer footage, there's one character that has been removed from one of the scenes that this character was previously in. And that character is not on this list at all.
Taskmaster, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. The fact that Sentry's on this list was weird.
It really was, right?
Yeah, I mean, the worst kept secret ever that Bob is Sentry, right? By the way, in Endgame, there was 26-ish characters
right.
in Endgame.
Right. So this has Namor was a little bit of a shock. Just because he was one of those characters that was introduced, and then let's not cast him in anything for 3 years.
Yeah, but most of the people on this, like Letitia Wright, the same way, right?
Yep. Same thing with her. Shang-Chi, Simu Liu, who had a funny
same thing there, right? Tom Hiddleston was done in Loki.
Simu Liu had a funny reply. Is on Twitter he did pokes his head out of a karaoke booth. Oh, cool, and that's that's amusing.
Yeah.
The Tom Hiddleston thing, if what I read that the part of the plot of the movie is going to be makes sense.
Yeah, look,
Winston Duke was a little bit of a out of left field too.
Yeah, it's the stars of the movies that didn't flop. That's all it is. So which movies didn't flop in the last 5 years?
Not that I'm mad about it, but giving me all of the oldest X-Men living is both awesome, and you really better film those scenes first.
100%.
Like Alan Cumming, Ian McKellen, and Patrick Stewart. Get them down, film them first, please.
I think Alan Cumming's younger than you think he is.
He's old? Tell me how old he is.
He's probably in his early 50s.
He's got to be in his 60s.
He's born in 65. He is 60.
Okay. That's old. I know Stewart and McClellan are both 84 and 85. I don't know which one's which, but I think Stewart's 84 and McClellan's 85. But McClellan is brittle right now. Like he just fell off stage not too long ago and was like down and out for a while. And he's doing Lord of the Rings.
If you fell off stage, you'd be down now for a while. It happens.
I fall in hockey and I get right back up and limp to the bench. Channing Tatum supposedly getting a Gambit movie, man.
Oh, really?
I'm okay with that. Like I am. James Marsden, I'm glad he's coming back. Rebecca Romaine. No Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, maybe, right? So we don't know. That's the thing, right? Like if it's gonna be, and obviously it's going to be multiverse, right? Like how far do they take it? We didn't get I'm no Holly Berry though, which was annoying.
No. I no, they didn't see her. Now the Spider-Man, the Tom Holland thing, supposedly Spider-Man 4 is going to take place at the same time as Avengers Doomsday.
Great.
So he's going to be filming that movie and then he'll get his script for what he's got to do for Doomsday. So that movie takes place at the same time. So that's why he's not over there in that cast, apparently. There's a lot of characters technically missing.
I mean, Hugh Jackman.
Deadpool,
kind of a big miss. I don't know, whatever.
Right, but
yeah, look, lots of people not brought over yet. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Like Famke Janssen, if they're doing later in the timeline, cool.
But I said that. The
Ashmores aren't doing anything. Bring Lamplighter on over. I don't know if that's the twin that it is or not, but
I don't want the big sport. Like I don't want it if Chris Evans is in it. And and Elizabeth Olsen is in it, even though they're both like, no, we're done. We're retired. I'm doing pilots. I'm not doing it.
Right.
Don't show me them. Give me that moment. Like, give me that Chris Evans catching Mjolnir in the theater moment. Like, show me then.
Well, my wonder is based on what they seem to have done from the Marvels. Like, do we still get the Marvels? Do we get Teyonah Parrish? Do we get Lashana Lynch? Like, is this that X-Men from the end of the Marvels?
We got Kelsey Grammer name drop, but do you get her because she's with him technically?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is that where we're going to pick it up? Then we know there's more casting, right? Like, because they
said there's more. They said they want to do a big event. Now there's
still Kate Bishop. There's still Iman Vellani. There's still there's Haley Steinfeld. There's all these people still.
There's something. Is it this weekend that there's a Comic-Con thing? CinemaCon? Is that like now or?
CinemaCon is previews. They'll preview stuff that's coming out in the next year.
Yeah, because I think there's
there's Marvel's already dropping more stuff. Like we're gonna announce more soon, but I don't know why they need to drop it now. Maybe to combat the leaks that are gonna happen.
I would have waited till after Thunderbolts to drop this list. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
And the last thing on that before we go to our TV show stuff, there was a story that came out about the Russo brothers, and Marvel gave them playing cards with the actor's name, the salary that the actor requires, and how many movies that actor has left on their how many pictures they have left on their deal. And they gave them this set of playing cards, have magnets on the back, and they put them on the board, and that's how they're deciding. Like, come on, how cool is that though? Like,
it is.
Robert Downey Jr., $400 million, no picture deal left. Here's him.
All of the monies.
There's the budget. Now who can we fit around him? But no, that's cool stuff. I don't really need to see any more casting list for this. Make the movie.
No, but we will. Don't worry.
We will.
And they haven't been good with hiding leaks anymore. So like I don't. It's the internet's going to continue to ruin any kind of surprises or anything.
We have Comic-Con later this year. We have D23 coming up soon. So,
well, look, they can announce some TV shows that don't suck. It's fine.
Yeah, that would be nice. But now we get to talk about the TV shows that we did watch.
We did. We have at least 4 still to hit.
Yeah. So we're going to spoil stuff. Mythic Quest we don't have to really spoil. I can just say.
Yeah, you weren't a fan. I don't even remember where I was able to watch this one. I think this was on my tablet, maybe.
I was a fan of the show up until the last 45 seconds.
Yeah, they've done this almost every season now. It's getting tiresome with how their story arc continues to be. They just keep recycling the same beats every season at any point, but they have like episodes that are great, like the Pootie, what is his name?
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Like the one-off episodes every season are fantastic, and like some of the best written ones they do every time.
I
But yeah, it was. I'm intrigued to see where we go next season.
it was them kissing at the end that really just pissed me off because that was the one thing I didn't want to see.
Yeah, but we're gonna start. They've done it before.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, because
I
her
don't.
breath is always so awful that Ian loses his mind anytime he's close to her mouth.
Right,
At
but
least
they've
once
never
they've
kissed
made
her.
out or kissed, and they tried it, and he was like, "Oh my, what did you eat raw sardines for lunch? Like, what are you doing?"
Gotcha. Well, boo on that.
But that's what I mean. They keep hitting that same story beat over again, and there's not the chemistry there to,
Yep.
in a romantic way, to make it worthwhile. But the stuff with Joe is great, and David, I'm excited for that
Yeah.
when we get the next season. And they've actually done well with consistent seasons of this show,
Yeah.
maybe every like 12 to 18 months.
Well, now that I'm caught up, it sucks. Yes, Pete.
It did, yeah. The finale just aired
Also,
Wednesday.
happy birthday to Pete. Today is Pete's birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Pete.
Yes.
And now we're going to talk about new Star Wars. No, I'm just kidding.
Reacher.
Yeah.
We'll hit the easy ones first. I talked to Ray last night about Reacher, and I said it's exactly what you expect it to be. It's action. It's him beating people up. It's him killing people. He bangs the chick, and he solves the crime.
Yeah, it's the trashy action books, not comics, but the action novels from the 80s and 90s. And
It is 100%. It has a formula. It sticks to the formula, and it's fun.
look, it's the same as the Alex Cross stuff and the books that Stuart Woods wrote and the books that Brad Thor wrote and the books that Brad, the other Brad who writes comic books now. But like all of the guys write the same, they all write the same books, you know, and it's like, I don't expect, and here's the thing, and this goes into one of the other couple shows we're going to talk about. Like, it's fine to have a story that just is like fluff the whole time, and like I don't expect deep thoughts out of Reacher. And Reacher doesn't advertise like we're going to give you really insightful, thoughtful. No, we're going to have this big dude go beat up other big guys and smaller guys and do his thing. And like that's it. It's pulpy. Yep. It's fine. It does what it's supposed to do. The show was good.
I am not trying to watch a Martin Scorsese does Jack Reacher.
No.
I'm just watching. Just it's fine. I love it. I don't hate it. It's right there in the middle where it needs to be.
Yeah, you can fall asleep for like 10 minutes and wake back and be like, cool. Nothing different. Got it.
No, there's a shocking death every season. Let's break the guy's legs in half and shove him in a car in a bag. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah,
keep that up. Churn that out another couple of seasons, and that's fine.
And they will. They'll be filming season 4 in no time if they haven't already. Unless he gets cast as Batman, then who knows what'll happen.
Well, they're doing Neely.
They're filming that right now.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I guess. I wonder he'll make a small appearance.
He had to finish recovering. He and the guy that played Paulie both were injured pretty bad during the filming the fight scenes they did in the finale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weeks and weeks or months, I think I saw for him of recovery time after those last fights. Yeah. Well, they both went all in and did their own stunts too. So like,
yeah, I saw that because there was something about the camera that they got from Amazon to come down on the table scene that he didn't want to have a double for that. He wanted to be the one in it. And
it's not like there's a lot of people built like those two. So doubles aren't super easy to get for either one of them either.
Yeah. What else did we watch?
So Wheel of Time. This was kind of a filler episode to me after the last one. It was kind of like, hey, let's touch back in with everybody. We're gonna move the story forward a little bit, but mainly like let's remember where everybody is now that we had the Rand focused episode last week.
I had pulled an article that um, speculated on who the Black sisters in the tower were.
Hmm.
They say there's one left. I know who it is from the books if they keep it the same. I'm not saying anything. I want it to come. I want you to go, oh, as it happens. Um, they're definitely making a lot of changes from the book, but the story's been engaging so far, and I really like it because they're keeping certain elements from the books in there. The way they did Hold Rock's Hold was great. I thought that was awesome. Um, the way they have Rand's character right now, laughing and all that, that's important. The stuff with Lanfear is totally separate from that's totally different. That doesn't
Yeah.
happen like that. The Dream World stuff is right on cue. That stuff's great. Um, I'm enjoying it more than I did the first 2 seasons.
Good. Look, that seems to be the consensus.
Yeah.
As I read articles on the show, that everybody that was a book fanatic is like, you know what? I've come around to it now, and they're doing things better than they have been, and the writing's better, and they're hitting more of the story beats from the book and things like that. So it seems that that's kind of the
Yeah.
general consensus.
I'm enjoying, and they definitely spent a ton of fucking money on this season. They
Oh
spent
yeah.
a ton of money on the CGI, like when she's standing in the desert with that little ball, which is something completely different in the books, but it still works. All of that CGI with the power coming out of the ball and then creating what it created in the sand. That's just woo. That's got to be a lot of CGI money right there.
Or they let those people actually have time to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we keep watching shows, and there's like when they were like, well, we did reshoots 3 months ago. All right, now we got to drop the episode. And it's like, well, the CGI isn't done. Well, that's fine.
Marvel does that.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Marvel,
What happened?
there was a double episode last week,
Oh yeah,
and we can bring it home.
as they say.
It's talking about the devil of Hell's Kitchen, who I don't even know if he's been in Hell's Kitchen this season. I feel
No.
like he hasn't.
He's moving on up.
To the yeah. So we had 2 episodes. The one, which seems like the holdover of the original version of this show.
Yeah.
Which was the bottle episode, the St. Patrick's Day. Get the good Irish Catholic boy Matt Murdock dealing with the not so good Irish Protestant boys.
Yeah.
Who don't care about St. Patrick's Day and them robbing a bank.
That was cool. I didn't hate it.
I didn't either. I actually enjoyed that episode because anytime you pull in any of the Khan family, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kamala's dad was great.
I didn't realize that was him at first, even though he said it. I completely had blanked on who he was at first.
Well, I was thinking because Kamala's in California for it. I was like, well, she's probably in her 50s by now, the way that we've done these time jumps on the show. So, like, that's the weird thing, right? Like, I don't know what would be going on in her neck, like, in that. Like, are we before the Marvels? Are we after the Marvels? I have no idea.
No, I think we're after the Marvels. I think this is set in 2050.
I don't know what Disney has against AT&T, but I appreciated the dig at AT&T cell phone service in the middle of the show.
Oh, really? I missed that.
Yeah, when they were in the bank and they cut the cell towers and stuff, they're like, oh, we got AT&T. Of course, we don't have any service. I was like, wow. It's if this was more this episode reminded me of She-Hulk, right? Which was one of my top Marvel shows so far, right?
Yeah.
Because it treated itself like a TV show. Like all this other stuff, like all the other ways that we're cutting these, and this is what I was mentioning earlier, right? Like this episode felt like, oh, this would be like an episode if we were treating this like a TV show, where there was weekly episodes, there was some bottle episodes, you had like 22 episodes in a season, you had some filler, you had stuff that moved the story, right? But like there weren't so many stakes in every episode because it's so short,
right?
And I enjoyed that, but like I'm also like, but you only have 9 episodes. Like, what are you doing? Having a one-off that like kind of moves the story, but like barely with the money thing. And still no Daredevil in that episodes. I will say the dad like didn't feel like the guy that's been through what they went through in the Marvels movie.
Well, so this takes place between 2025 and 26,
Yeah.
right? So when did the Marvels take place? The
But I
Marvels
would
takes place in 2026 November,
okay.
following the events of Secret Invasion and the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
So we're saying we're still before Secret the Marvels was after Secret Invasion?
The
That's not
Marvels is set after Secret Invasion
it's
and after
no,
Miss Marvel.
no.
So
It wasn't after Secret Invasion
I'm just
because
telling you what
Nick Fury wasn't living in space yet and hadn't left.
Wikipedia is telling me.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
It's all broken. Oh, well,
Agatha All Along is set in 2026, 3 years after the events of WandaVision. Marvels is set in 2026 after Secret Invasion and Miss Marvel. Deadpool and Wolverine is set in 2024. And in the Void, it occurs after the events of Loki season 2. Oh my God, it's so confusing.
no, I'm out. So anyway, I'd love to see Matt show up to dinner with like I would take an episode of like
Yes.
Matt and Kamala like, I read your file, and Matt going, I don't know what you're talking about, and just trying to enjoy dinner, right? Like I would love that, and then like some random villain shows up like down the street, and you get a team up of Miss Marvel, like exactly like the She-Hulk show was, right? Like stakes, but not really stakes. Like let's just go in and do the thing. Like I like that episode, and I would have liked if that was the show, it would have been great and fit in.
Yes.
But that's not this show.
Yeah.
It felt like, and when you read a comic series, right, like there'll be ones where like, oh, they didn't make the deadline. Here's this filler from the previous writer. Like, here's a John Byrne issue that we didn't publish 10 years ago that we're going to plug in here now.
Right.
That's what that episode felt like, which is normal for comic books, which is great. And then we swing way back hard the other way in the next episode, back to like, all right, enough of the fun, carefree episode. Let's dig back into everybody miserable and brutal.
I thoroughly
Murals made out of blood and Jack
I
the swordsman back from Hawkeye.
I thoroughly enjoyed the intercutting of the two fight scenes.
Last week,
Yes.
not this week.
Wait, what?
The
Last week
fight
was a
scenes.
couple episodes.
Oh yeah, no, there was that again this week. Was it that? No,
Yeah.
was that again
Yeah,
this week?
we got the bank episode, and then we went right into the Muse episode.
Yeah, I thought that was 2 weeks ago.
No, that was this week.
Oh,
That's because he finally put
oh
the
yeah,
costume
yeah.
back on.
You're right. You're right.
We
Sorry.
finally got him. We finally got him to beat somebody up again.
Yeah, I love that less, but
Oh, see, I liked it because it showed them as going back to their older selves, and they were both kind of doing the same thing at the same time. I thought that was pretty well done.
yeah, they're getting a little heavy-handed with the parallel piece to me, where they're like, "Hey, did you catch this yet? Oh, Fisk is getting fatter. He's going to be Kingpin again. He was too skinny." And oh, look, Matt's going back to his Netflix form too. Let's go. Okay. So I appreciate it. Like I said, like I don't with the swordsman coming in from Hawkeye.
Yep.
With Kate Bishop's stepdad.
Yep, I like
Um,
that.
I like the tying. Like this show has done more work tying the Disney Plus shows together than all of the other Disney Plus shows combined. So I appreciate that they're doing that work, which is what Daredevil did way back in the day, right? With introducing Punisher and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and like all of that, like the little snippets that we got way back when from the Netflix shows, getting that same thing.
So we have what,
now
2 left.
3.
3 left. Andor's coming.
Yep.
Next week.
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2
Okay.
weeks.
So
Something else is coming in 2 weeks too. There's 2 shows coming up that week.
Nice.
Last of Us is in 2 weeks too.
Okay. Oh, cool.
So yeah, but like you get the anti-vigilante squad set up.
Yep.
All the bad cops. So that's interesting that they're all like that one's weird to me because like they still shouldn't like Fisk.
Right.
Because like they all know that he's a bad guy. So it's weird that it's crappy parallels that like even though they're like, oh well he's a bad guy, but because he's going to pay us and because he's now the boss, we're okay with working for a bad guy to do bad things. It's weird.
That is a little weird.
That one, yeah, that
That
because
yeah. No, I get that. That's a little that doesn't make as much sense.
And I mean, the White Tiger's niece doing that stuff is like pretty predictable too, which is fine. Again, it goes back to like, I wish they hadn't done the 2 episodes together, but I also wish that more of the show was like episode 5 than episode 6.
Yeah, see, I wanna see him in the costume beating people up, but
100%.
I also I don't hate the courtroom stuff. I don't hate the long conversations. Um, it so far for me, the show's hitting it's got more hits than misses for me.
Yeah, I'm at about 50-50 so far with it. So
I'm not that high. I'm not that much higher. I'm maybe, 55, 45.
yeah, we'll see where we get with the next 3 episodes. I think it's just one a week, but there might be another weird drop coming up.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I think we're straight through now. Not as weird as Andor, where we have 3 freaking hours a week that we got to watch.
Yeah, that one's gonna be a little rough.
Yeah, it's straight through. So there's an episode on tomorrow, April 8th, and April 15th.
Say April 5th.
Speaking of that, with the news, did
Yes.
you see Iron Fist is ready to go be Iron Fist again?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of conflicting things on that. Most saying cast another actor.
Yeah, well, no, he came out this past week and was like, "Hey, just let me effing do it, and I will prove you all wrong." And to be fair, season 2 way better than season 1 because he actually had time to like train.
I didn't see it, so I'm not really gonna say that he was a bad guy, bad actor in it.
Oh no,
It could just been the writing.
no, his acting wasn't bad. In any of it, his acting wasn't bad. He was not capable of doing the martial arts in the first season. It
Gotcha.
was awful.
Gotcha.
And he admitted that. They were like, well, he came right out of Game of Thrones, right? And they
Right.
started filming Iron Fist like 2 weeks later. So normally you get like a year to prep and like get all the physicality and the stunts and learn all of the choreography. He was learning choreography like the day before to be the best martial artist in the world. Like that's not feasible.
Right.
Second season again was much better. The choreography was much better. The writing was much better. All of those things. So I would be down to have Finn Jones back as Iron Fist, but only if you get Mike Coulter back as Luke Cage and let them go back and forth and bicker and kind of change the tone of it where it can be lighter instead of having to be so heavy all the time.
Well, wouldn't that mean bringing Kristen Ritter back too?
Yeah, she's already back though.
Okay.
I've heard she's filming. She might still show up, dude. There's 3 episodes left.
Gotcha.
Or she might have been in the original version. They edited her out. I heard that actually. I think I heard that had happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That she was in the original version. So we'll see what we get with the next 3 episodes. But I know we ran a little long tonight. We started a little late, but
Yes.
thanks everybody for finding the Geek Spot with us. You can check me out at Jack Kid Music. I got a gig this weekend. Had a couple good ones this past weekend, so check that out. And find Frank over at Gimzack.
And tomorrow night on the Island of Relevancy with T, talking Raw and SmackDown, and all good fun things.
Now, is that's on YouTube streaming? Because I know I went and subscribed.
I love you for that. Thank you.
But is it a podcast version too, or just the streaming for
I
our audio
believe
only?
there is a podcast version. I should probably clarify that with T. I believe that it goes up as a podcast. I have to clarify that. We have to get an entrance theme still.
Not in the meantime, go over to the YouTube page.
Yes.
Click the like and subscribe for them. Tell your friends to come click the like and subscribe for us.
Yes.
And we will see you all next time.
Can't wait.